Greetings YouTube, Captain Machine here. Thought I'd come back for the RPGaDay. Do you want to know why I've been gone for so long? This little guy. Say hello, Gabriel. It's my little boy Gabriel. He's such a noisy little thing. Either way, I figured I want to get back into making videos about RPGs as well as other things. So the RPGaDay is a really good indicator of how to do that. And as is typical for me, I am late. So, day one, what published RPG do you wish you're playing right now? And at the moment, I'm super getting back into Battletech because of the brand new game that's coming out very soon. I did used to play a bit of MechWarrior Online, but it's been updated that much that my clunker of my PC will not play it anymore. And for some reason, I cannot get the older games to run anymore on the PC, which is kind of annoying. But this new game looks so good, and I've gone out and I've bought like the starter box set again because I got a friend who had a copy. Gabriel, what are you doing? This is why I don't make videos. Right. I got the starter box off a friend who didn't need it anymore. I picked up a couple of books on cheap and some map sheets. I've even gone and bought some PDFs in terms of the technical readouts. Gabriel, Daddy's recording. Oh dear. Right. So I would love to be playing the MechWarrior RPG, which I believe is called Time of War. Now, but I used to play it back in the day when it was MechWarrior 2nd and 3rd edition, mostly 3rd, and I had so much fun with that. We played a campaign for literally years as the 10th Iron Guard. I had my own little character, Asif, and he had his lovely, awesome. No, it was the it was the Zeus. It wasn't the awesome. It was the Zeus. I had this awesome Zeus. Mech, which I even recently walked into a war game shop and picked up the model so I can repaint it and get it back into the colours that I remember it being in. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm really wanting to get back into it. The problem is time, because of that little guy, and the fact is that when it comes to RPGs at the moment, I tend to drift towards rules light systems because I have got a very large group and they tend to not be as focused into the rules as maybe we would have done, say, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I could walk into a group and expect everyone around the table to have read everything and understood everything. Nowadays, with kids and marriage and work, it's a case of getting the basics down. Gabriel! It's a case of getting the basics down and then just playing along, and the GM and maybe one or two people know the rules inside and out, and everyone else basically gets the basic concept, and then if anything else comes up, that's dealt with. That, and the fact is that when you jump into a mech and you have a fight, you get the models out and you play Battletech. That can really drain on time of a session. Potentially, the old adage of Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, which is why I tend not to play those games anymore, is the fact that you've got these fights that can last for hours. They take up the entire session. I don't mind an end of campaign fight that runs the entire day, session, whatever you want to call it, because that's fine. That's a big climactic, explosive battle with twists and turns and everything. But when it's mech fight 5 of 7 and it's taken up the entire session just to run that through, it makes it difficult to do. So everyone around the table has to be super on board with the system, which is why it's unlikely I'm going to get to play it in the near future. I would love to. I'd really love to play it right now so I can get a hunchback. I used to love playing with a hunchback back in the day. But yeah, that's what I'd like to be playing right now. Thanks for your time, guys. I'm going to try and catch up with the RPGaDay thing so I can do one a day, probably on the way to work or in a downtime, and maybe not when little Gabriel's around to cause lots of noise. Thank you for your time, guys, and goodbye.